Oh. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Panchadashi, chapter 13 and verse number 75. And here the thought that was taken was, it was to show the student's question is how to experience the world as Brahman, and the student teacher's answer to that, how to experience the world as a reality. The teacher's response to that was by taking an example of space, and he said, how do you know space? First, you say, this is space, this is how you say. Then, I know this is space. And third, this space is dear to me or agreeable to me. And then third, the quality of this space is accommodativeness or roominess. So in this whole example, it was told that the Sat Chit Anand is the quality of the self, and the roominess is the quality of the appearance called the space. So these three, Satchidanand or Asti Bhati Priya, these are superimposed on space, which you know only because there is because of its quality of accommodativeness. But everything else about space is your essential nature, the self, which is superimposed on it. So taking this example, in the teacher says that all other elements of the creation, namely air, fire, water, earth, and why stop there? Admixture of these five elements is the whole creation, and everything can be analyzed in such a way, and this way, once you have identified with anything, and then worked out what is the illusory aspect of that and what is the permanent aspect of it. So illusory aspect is the accommodativeness, and the permanent aspect is Asti Bhati Priya or Satchidanand. Focus on the Satchidanand. Don't give too much value to the accommodativeness. In the next two shlokas, the qualities of the respective Mahabhutas are given to discover what is the illusory aspect and what is the unchanging substratum, the Satchidananda, the Parabrahma, that is I. Thus, Anvaya Siddhi, all inclusive experience of non dual self takes place. Again and again, coming back to this unchanging principle. This is your experience on a daily basis, but we miss the plot. In front of your eyes, everything is changing. In front of, for the ears, everything is changing. For the tongue, the tastes are changing continuously. You cannot have one particular taste all the time, isn't it? So for every sense organ, all the stimuli are changing. Go one step back behind the senses. Sense organs do not have any purpose. They are collecting information only for the mind. From mind's point of view, sometimes seeing is taking place, from sometimes sense seeing stimuli is coming, sometimes hearing stimuli is coming, sometimes taste stimuli is coming. So for mind also, continuously something, the inflow of stimuli is different. You see, it does not discriminate. Whatever comes, comes. See, go take even one step further. You know that the thoughts of seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting are coming and going away in your mind, isn't it? Otherwise, how can you talk about them? Be that. Be that one who is uninfluenced by these thoughts. Our problem is we become attached to the thoughts. Why? We give too much value to the name and form. Yeah. When mother says, do this, and you don't listen. Didn't you listen? You must respond when mother is talking. Isn't it? Moms say that. Yeah? And you are indifferent. So in the 76th verse, Gatisparshau Vayurupam Gatisparshau Vayurupam Vahnerdah Prakashane Vahnerdah Prakashane Jalasya Dravata Bhumehe Jalasya Dravata Bhumehe काठिन्यम चेति निर्णयः काठिन्यम चेति निर्णयः. So what are the qualities? Movement and touch, heat and light are the special qualities of air and fire, while liquidity and hardness are that of water and earth respectively. In this way, their special qualities apart from the common Satchidananda should be understood. So as emptiness was the quality of the space, what is the quality of air? The quality of the air is movement and touch. What is the quality of fire? Next element, it is heat and light. What is the quality of water? It is the liquidity here from. And the last one, earth, it is hardness. And in this way, where are we? These are the qualities of each respective element, but there is another three qualities which are common to all of them. These are the specific qualities of each element. And what are the three qualities which are common? Sat Chit Ananda. That this air exists. I know this air exists and it is dear to me. Why it is dear to me? Because I want to keep breathing. I like the feeling of this cloth or silk cloth or the shawl. Look at her. I like the feeling. So similarly, the quality of fire is heat and light, and plus Satchidananda. Quality of water is liquidity, specific quality is liquidity plus Satchidananda. And the earth is hardness plus Satchidananda. And what is this Satchidananda? This is the substratum on which these qualities are, or this particular each element is appearing. It's appearing on that substratum. See? You will say, oh, the sun is appearing in the sky. It is not Satchidananda. Where is the sky appearing? Where is the sky? Where is the space? We did the example. So if sun is appearing in space, where is space appearing? What is the quality of space? Accommodativeness. And what is its essential quality? Satchidananda. So that Satchidananda is the common denominator, common factor for all the five elements. Why? If it is the basis of the substratum of the space, all other five elements have come out of space only, isn't it? So they will have to go, it has to be carried forward to them also. They cannot be without it. So in this way, the substratum of all the four elements is, however, the same Satchidananda I, which is one without a second. Now don't keep Satchidananda as a concept in your mind. Don't search for Satchidananda behind the space that you see here. That Satchidananda is the I, the conscious, the true I, the pure consciousness. Without you, will you experience the space? Without being there, will you experience space? You be the one. You are the one. Don't search somewhere else. That, oh, I should have the experience of the self. They say substratum. Where is the substratum? Where am I looking? You're still looking outside in meditation. You don't have to look anywhere. You are that. But the more we contemplate in this manner, when we take space, we don't give too much value to the accommodativeness. When we think about air, the movement and touch, we do not give too much importance. The heat and light of fire, we do not give too much importance. To the liquidity of water, we do not give too much importance. And to the hardness of the earth, we do not give too much importance. Then you have to give something importance. If you don't give too much importance to that, automatically you will fall back into your own self. Now the question is, how do we not give importance? Before we know, we are sucked into it, isn't it? How can I? How can I not give importance if I am sitting here and the light is here? The light is there. Can I say, oh, I don't want to give importance to the roominess of this room? How can I do that? So don't try to remove the roominess, the movement or the touch, the heat and light, the liquidity and the hardness of the various elements. No. What you do is merely focus on the self. You can make them into a means and come back to the Satchidananda. You are saying Satchidananda in the mind, that roominess is the illusion, Satchidananda is the truth. That truth, I am. Initially you will repeat it in the mind. But after some time, you will start falling back. You don't have to keep repeating. How many times will you keep repeating I? You don't have to say I to be I. You have to say I when I know you. So with respect to you, I have to say no. I know, I want, I desire, I do. I am capable, I am not capable, I am hungry, I am thirsty. Something, some activity has been there, then I kept, there is a necessity to repeat the I. But when it comes, I know myself. How many times will you say I know myself? I am the substratum, I am the substratum, I am the substratum. After some time, it will stop.
Is it from the principle of all I am?
Yes, all I am. All I am. The specific qualities associated with anything is an illusion. With anything. Not only space, air, fire, water, earth, but anything in this creation. Let that be planets, let that be galaxies, let that be solar systems, let that be the atmosphere on the earth, successes, failures. Everything has its own quality. Likes, dislikes. Whatever you are attached to as an individual, you are not attached to the thing. You are attached to that quality. See? Recognize this, come back to base. Recognize it, come back to base. Recognize it, come back to base. For that, alert living is required. A hunger, a thirst to know yourself, a thirst, unsettled you're unsettled because you want to experience the whole universe as I. You want to see the self in everything. How is this possible? It is not possible by thinking about everything. It is possible by coming to be the self. then everything will automatically appear as self.
Swamiji, the specific quality associated with anything is illusion. That's what we are learning about. But then the common
We are not
denominator-
learning about that.
No,
We are
no,
learning,
but what
we are coming to the
I-
point,
I-
coming to the substratum.
substratum.
But-
So that common denominator is the
I.
I, and it that also has Satchidananda and I also.
I is of the nature of Satchidananda.
So, and that particular that the water has got the wetness at the same time
Satchidananda is the base
the
because
base, yes.
water exists.
Yes.
I know it exists.
Yes.
It is dear to me because it quenches my
Yes.
thirst.
So that means the water is also Satchidananda and I also.
Yes.
So then why should I not give importance to that water? Because that both are
Because you are
same.
not giving importance to the water, you are giving importance to the quality of the water.
Yeah.
That it quenches my thirst. And therefore your desire for water increases.
Okay.
That is why you should not give.
Mhm.
Instead of thinking that you cannot live without water, coming to the self will bring about a completely diametrically opposite situation. That the whole universe is not other than me. Then there is no running towards anything. There is no desiring anything. Such a person is in the right place at the right time with the right everything. If thirst comes, water will come. Yeah, because body is there, but for the person who's thinking about, who is immersed in the self, he is not concerned whether water comes or not. You will see the mind may be agitated if the water has come or not, but the person within the self, that person, if it comes to it, Arey Swamiji, if he is behaving like this, if it was Raman Maharishi, oh, he's getting angry because of water, or suddenly it clicks back to water or no water does not matter. We cannot explain it. You have to get there. I'm just trying to, after making an attempt to explain. Let's stay with the thought that, yes, that the elements essentially are Satchidananda, and we are also essentially Satchidananda. We are imagining ourselves to be name and form. Name is Swami Paramananda, form is this particular form, and actually what am I? Satchidananda, isn't it? Same mistake I am making with the whole world also. Same mistake I am making with the whole world. And it has all started from body identification. Because I have got attached to this form, so I get attached to every form. I get detached to this form, automatically I'll get attached to other forms. The specific qualities associated with anything is an illusion, but the common denominator, the general quality, which is one's own essential nature, is the only reality. If this is understood clearly, iti nirnaya, nirnaya means conclusion, and applied in following sadhana dharma, where one is established in the thought that this consciousness, which is sadharana, is the reality, he gets established in Advaitananda. Such a Brahmavit does not insist, does not contradict. See, I'll give you one example. This one of the chapters in Panchadashi was Chitradeep, the yoga through a painting. The lamp of the painting. So taking that one painting as an example, the entire thought was developed. I don't know how many were there when we did that. You were there. Others were not there. So entire thought, how to contemplate. Now for example, is this camera is recording right now? It's not possible in this one. Let's see. This wall is illuminated by this light, right? will on this wall, will the illumination of that light be there? Will also be there. Can you see it? Have you ever seen, today I saw it, in the daytime when the sun was on, the curtains were open, there is a general, lights are not on, none of the light is on, curtains were closed, the sun is not coming in, still I could see everything in the room. How could you see it? Because of the daylight, isn't it? Then I opened the curtain, the daylight became a bit more brighter, but there was no sun coming inside, right? So you are seeing everything on the wall, there is a general daylight, right? And then the sun was setting and the sun's rays came in, and rest of the house is general sunlight, but that wall was getting a specific sunlight. Where your attention goes? To the specific. Is the general sunlight behind that light anyway? Because that specific light has come because of certain circumstances. The sun at a particular angle shining through the window coming in, and it is it is creating a particular shape or form or light on that particular wall. When it was not there, the general light was still there. Now it has come, I can't see the general light, but I can see only the specific light. And when within 2 minutes the sun went down, the specific light went away, the general light continued, right? So because we could not see the general light, does it mean that the general light is not there? It is still there. Exactly the same way, this general Satchidananda, the common denominator, is always there, on which this specificity is coming. What is the specificity here? Name and form. So I'm taking, it's there also on that light, the specific light was more, it attracts your attention. And even if you try there, you cannot see the general sunlight because the specific sunlight is so bright. But you know, now when I explain to you in this way, you know that whether the sunlight is there, specific sunlight is there or not there, the general sunlight was always there, right? Same way, come to know about yourself. This general self, the common denominator, the substratum is always there, and on that all the names and forms, all the seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, all the thoughts, all the ideas, all the experiences, all the everything is coming and going. It's creating an specific impression called space, or my mom comes in front of me, a specific expression called sun comes out, then my sister calls me, then the brother comes out automatically. Specific because of that attachment. But one must not forget, while the roles are being played, do not forget that you are the uncontaminated self. That self gets contaminated and precipitates into an individuality, mithyatma or gaunatma, only because of attachment. Only because you give importance and value. If you give to the body, breath, mind, intellect, it becomes mithyatma, that same self. And if you give value to things and beings, it becomes gaunatma. While playing the roles of mithyatma and gaunatma, don't forget who you are. Don't forget. And it is not a thing to be forgotten because you are that. In this way, interact with yourself. In this way, interact with yourself. Fascinating, no? Such a Brahmavid does not insist, does not contradict. Such a person does not insist, means he flows through life. A river does not insist that this mountain must cut out of my way, only then I will go forward. It does not insist. Mahatmas also don't insist. They will say it, let's do this, let's do this. 2-3 times they will say. But if the person doesn't listen, they say, okay, do what you want. See? And they do not argue. They do not insist and they do not argue. There's nothing to there's no discussion required. Let's discuss spirituality. Spirituality is not a topic of discussion. Yesterday I went to someone's house for Bhiksha and the son was there. He said, Swamiji, can I ask you a question? He's in uni doing aeronautical engineering. I said, oh, maybe, I don't know. I said, okay, what do you want to know? He said, how do you define success? How do you define success? Tell me.
That's outside, isn't it? Somebody's outside.
I'm not asking you to analyze it.
Yeah.
What is your definition of success? Quickly, let first thing that comes to your mind. Because you have studied enough, you have known enough, so whatever comes, if you try to analyze, it will go the wrong way.
When you achieve an expected resource.
Is success.
Just achieving what you set out to do.
Good.
Same.
Achieving what you set out to do.
Happiness.
Happiness is success. Sir?
Whatever you do,
Ah.
you are having some aim.
Ah.
To get that, you are success.
Okay.
Same thing.
No success. No success. It's an imagination. My answer to him was remaining undisturbed in ups and downs of life is success. You got a wise man. Listen to him. Huh? See, well, normally you will say success means do this, achieving your goals, this, that. At a worldly level, that is true. But what is our goal as a human being? Our success is to abide in ourselves. So to be abiding in ourselves, what is the prerequisite? Remain undisturbed by all ups and downs of life, whether outside or in the mind. Remain undisturbed. What did he say? Do not insist. Do not insist. Swamiji, let's go here. Nahi yaar, I am not interested. Swamiji, please go. Okay, let's go. What can you do? If you are free, you will go. Okay. You become empty. Depending upon, like a mirror is empty. Whoever comes, whatever he wants to see, he sees and goes away, isn't it? Mirror doesn't say that I don't want to reflect you, I don't want to do this. Similarly, Mahatmas also become empty. They say something, if there someone doesn't agree, okay, something has to happen anyway, so let's go. You see? After having analyzed Pancha Mahabhutas, other aspect of creation is taken up for contemplation. This point is clear? Asadharana akara, asadharana akara, oshadhyannava pushyapi, oshadhyannava pushyapi, evam vibhavyam manasa, tad tad rupam yathochitam, tad tad rupam yathochitam. Shape is a specific quality in plants, foods, and gross body, etc. So same point is being told what I just explained. So here he's saying shape, form is a specific quality for so many things in the world. Except space and air, remember, understand, except space and air, everything has a shape. Fire has a shape, water has a shape, earth has a shape, everything on this creation, planets, galaxies, everything has shape. Every object, even a very minuscule atom also has a shape, isn't it? Electron has a shape, proton has a shape. Everything has a shape. Understand in this way. Don't go looking for shapes. Understand. If you take, you don't have to go after every object in this world to find out if it has a shape or not. Once you understood the principle, then you know that everything has a shape other than air and space. Similarly, one should properly understand appropriate qualities of other things also by the mind. For example, in this manner, shape is the specific quality associated with different types of plants, foods, bodies, etc., and can be contemplated upon to discover that which supports all of them is the pure consciousness, and that pure consciousness, I am. Essentially. Not this I. Individual I know, the essential I, which is undisturbed by the mind, which is undisturbed by the thoughts. In this way, in every object and being, this kind of reflection is done again and again to identify the special quality which is transient and illusory to be discarded, and to discover that which is non-special and untouched by the presence or absence of these changes. So you are sitting on the seat of meditation, mantra is coming. Just someone said yesterday that Swamiji, I got up in the morning and all the Mahatmas were doing, they were walking on the catwalk. I am using those words. He said they gave darshan. All Mahatmas came. Everyone whom I have known or read or talked, and then gods were also going. And he was feeling, it was, and he couldn't stop talking about it. Couldn't stop talking about it. Getting so emotional about it, you're losing the plot. I said, how do you know that they came? I was watching. That is an opportunity given by the divine to come back to the self. Don't forget, allow, enjoy, mind will enjoy it. But don't forget, he says, yes, Swamiji, I know. Fantastic. When you do japa, a point comes where the japa is going on automatically in the mind. You don't have to do it. It's called ajapa jap sthiti. And people get excited. Oh my God, I am a great devotee. Japa is going on 24 hours a day. What have you achieved? Nothing you will achieve because of that. You will, in the worldly sense, yes, it will continue to purify your mind. Are you going to wait till it purifies the mind? Do you know how much dirt you have collected in this life and past lives? Then what do? This is an opportunity again. The japa is going on in the mind all the time by itself, without involuntary japa is going on. Just like involuntary thoughts keep coming in our mind. How do I know these thoughts? How do I know this japa is going on? Because I am there. Then this japa is more important, or this one who knows this japa is going on is more important? This person is more important. Fall back into yourself. because the japa has a beginning and has an end. So, are you going to be attached to that which has a beginning and end, or are you going to be attached to that or be that because of which this beginning and end is appearing and disappearing? So, presence of japa or absence of japa, because of whom is this presence and absence of japa going on? Oh, because of the substratum. That substratum I am. Shift the attention. It's not attention, it's just you fall back. You don't have to go anywhere. Let the mind keep japa, doing the japa. All you have to do is, or not do, all you have, no words, just be. Just be. Without getting excited, without getting depressed. If you get excited, then the next turn of the event is coming. If this person gets so excited, for 1 hour he was talking about this experience came, this experience came, this experience came. Then when it doesn't happen after 1 month and it goes away, for some time its effect will be there in the mind. I'm feeling good, Bhagavan gave me darshan. But after 1 month, 2 months, you start feeling the emptiness, that nothing substantial is happening in my mind. Because when something happens, we identify with it and say, oh, I think I'm growing spiritually. If nothing is happening, then I'm not growing spiritually, or what? I'm going backwards. I think some world is taking me over, or the mind is going cuckoo, or whatever. No. When you give too much importance, then the joy of experiencing Mahatmas and gods and the feeling of loss of not being able to, why the gods are not gracing me again. This will continue. These stages come in our sadhana only so that we can fall back into ourselves and be ourselves. The thought is concluded. Anekadha vibhinneshu, anekadha vibhinneshu, namarupeshu chaikadha, namarupeshu chaikadha, tishthanti satchidananda, tishthanti satchidananda, visambado na kasyachit, visambado na kasyachit. In a variety of objects with different names and forms, the Sat existent, Chit consciousness and Ananda bliss is a common denominator. There is no disagreement on this point. In the varieties of names and forms, the substratum, the Satchidananda, the pure consciousness is seen to be one, without modification. So what is modifying? The names and forms are modifying. So when I'm looking around here in the room, I go through one form, one name, one form, one name, one form, one name. Each form is having its own name, or any name that comes to my mind, it has a particular form, and I'm going through that. So names and forms are continuously modifying, but what is not modifying is although the manifested names and forms are plenty, the substratum has not undergone any change and remains one and only one. You have not changed. Eyes are seeing so many different forms, but the eyes are same. Ears are hearing so many different sounds, but the ear is one. Tongue is tasting so many different tastes, but the tongue is one. Nose is smelling so many different fragrances, but the nose is one. This is the same example what I told you before. It's coming again now. Similarly, the mind is having so many thoughts, but the mind is one. Water is having so many waves, but the water is one. Gold is having so many ornaments, but the gold is one. Right? And if we come to the example given here, Mud is appearing as so many parts, but the mud is the common denominator. Similarly, this I, this pure consciousness is the common denominator. Don't live an obsessive life. If at all you want to be obsessed, be obsessed about the self, not about the world. Subjectively, not objectively. Once having understood this blissful conscious existence being one's own essential nature, there can be no more doubt or argument about it, and specific qualities will be of no consequence. Initially, yes, you have to apply your mind, you have to not allow the mind to get disturbed by the names and forms, and you come back and you keep practicing and you keep practicing and you keep practicing, and eventually it becomes a habit. See? Now the house is changed, but where I used to do, now anywhere I sit I can. But in the old house, I had a particular place where I used to do my sadhana. 7-8 hours a day I used to do sadhana, in 3 different, slots. Doing japa, doing pranayam, this, that. And any time I wanted if my mind is disturbed on any account, or I am just coming to do my sadhana, the moment I sit on my seat and take my japamala, everything used to drop. Everything used to drop. For some people, the moment they touch their bed, everything drops. Isn't it? Is it? They will not sleep during the day. But because they live dynamically. But at night when they touch the bed, the world drops them. The moment you come to your meditation seat, the world drops you. See? Build it up. Similarly, this is very outside, this is in the outside world. Do the same thing in the mind also. The moment you come to the mantra, the mind does not get attracted to anything in the world. Meaning, in other words, the word, because it's so in love with the mantra, in love and devotion, it is, thirsting for the mantra to purify him or whatever. In that bhava, the world is not able to create a crack and come in the mind.
Also a desire, no, Swami?
No, I'm just taking from sadhana point of view. From sadhana point of view. Similar, just like that, you initially, right now, even though you are, have you established in it? No. So till you are not established in the self, the mind will want to do something. So let it not do something in the world. If at all it wants to do, let it come to this conclusion. What is the conclusion? That everything that has a name and form is worthy of discarding, and the Satchidanand aspect, which is the common denominator of every name and form, that is worth apprehending or getting attached to, if at all. But remind it one more thing, that he must think about or contemplate on Satchidananda, the common denominator aspect, not objectively but subjectively. This is also important. And as you keep coming again and again, just like every day you go out home or you take a small child, and he goes out somewhere. We used to learning to ride the cycle. And once dad, mom were not there, So we had to walk 2 kilometers from where we could hire a cycle. And I and my friend went. We don't know the way, and yet we look, "अच्छा, इधर से चलते हैं ना, उधर से चलते हैं." And we went. Eventually, we went there. Then we took the cycle.
I don't know how to come back.
No, we took the cycle. But and in the excitement, we are driving everywhere. But where is the shop now? We have to give the cycle back. After going here, going there, going here, going there, we found the place. Gave it back. Next day again went, but this time we went again a different way. Again after a few mistakes, we gave it back. Third or fourth day, we knew all the roads. Without any mistake, we came back to the base. Exactly the same way, when we are in our seat of meditation or open-eyed meditation, living through the world, let's not get lost in the bylanes. Let's not get lost in the names and forms. Come back to base, come back to base. Every experience must bring us back to base. Every waker, dreamer, deep sleeper must bring you back to base. Every experience in the dream world and the waking world must bring you back to base. Come, bring yourself to that point. For that, initially practice is required. Just like as a child, we lost the way, but we must come back. We must know where we must get back though. Then what did we do? We got down, asked people, where is this market? I have to bring the cycle back. Is it turn this way, turn there? Sometimes they tell and you forget afterwards. Again we stopped. Again we asked someone. Eventually we came back. And that's what is happening at a larger scale in our life. We are asking teachers, we are studying the scriptures. Everyone is telling you, hey, this is the way. You don't have to travel anywhere to go back to base. You are the base, essentially. You are the substratum, essentially. You are the common denominator, essentially. You are everything, essentially. But after some listening time, intellectually we are clear. But when it comes to living in the world, we don't remember it. We get lost in the names and forms in the world, isn't it? So come back, come back, come back. And for that matter, for this reason, every day a little bit of time, morning and evening, you must spend in contemplation, in doing japa or whatever. Some spiritual practice, sadhana must be on, just like you don't forget eating breakfast, lunch and dinner. You don't forget sleeping every night to rejuvenate yourself. Similarly, your day is incomplete without having connected with yourself. And then once it becomes a habit, then automatically you will not feel the day is complete. For some unavoidable reasons you have done, but before going to sleep you will come back 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever. It must become a part, the sadhana, till it becomes the norm. Once having understood this blissful conscious existence being one's own essential nature, there can be no more doubts or arguments about it, and specific qualities will be of no consequence. Just like when you go to sleep, all the names and forms, qualities of space, air, fire, or water, earth, or your relations, they become zero for you. Isn't it? Sometimes children are playing so much. You know, this young kid at the back, he forgets that he is hungry. He forgets. Mother has to remind, hey, eat food. One child is there and this child, she does not understand that she has to go to loo. She's talking, she's playing game, and when we are playing, then the sister says or mother says, because she's moving, she forgets that she has to go to Nitya, you have to go to Lu. Then she'll go. But herself she will keep holding. Why? Got so engrossed in whatever you are doing. When you are in exams, you get so engrossed that you forget hunger, you forget your movies, you forget your shows, you forget your friends, totally absorbed in the studies. Similarly, get absorbed in the self, as the self. Then nothing will matter. Nothing will matter. And as the impact of the world decreases on your mind, the bliss that your nature is, it will keep expanding. It will be more evident.
Swamiji, those people or common people like us, can we have that experience of blissful existence?
So this is not being told to some god, it is being told to you only. Are we all not common people? But common people is a specific qualification or what?
No, I mean, can I have an experience?
It is not an experience.
I mean, when you say, will it happen?
Huh?
Will it happen to me?
Then why you are here?
Well, I thought.
I'm being very strong here.
Yeah, I thought.
Is it for some specific person?
No, well, I thought it's for realized masters.
Why does realized master need to study scriptures? He already knows it. Think of the question that you are asking. Why will a realized master want to know all this? He is already established in the self. It is we people who think we are intelligent, but actually we are bigger fools. Satya Sai Baba did not go to any master. Ammachi did not go to any master. Neem Karoli Baba did not go to any master. Ran Maharishi did not go to any master. Self-revealed. These scriptures are only for idiots.
The question is, can the self reveal to people who are not a spiritual seekers? That's what I'm asking.
Self does not need to reveal, because everyone is the self anyway. Does water need to reveal to any wave? Or water is the essence of every wave? Is water the essence of every wave or not? Is gold the essence of every ornament or not? Self is the essence of every being. Self is the essence of every being. So when you are asking that it will reveal, because you don't accept yourself as the self, you accept yourself, now your question, the common man accepts himself as the body.
Yeah, whether he will experience.
He will, depends upon how much hard yaka you put in,
Okay.
how much sadhana you put in, how much you invoke the self or the Lord. See? It is, oh, will I see my reflection in the mirror? But you are not ready to go in front of the mirror, how will it reflect? Right or not?
So you answer the question. So it won't reveal. It won't show to a common person.
If he is not looking for it, how can it? Oh, I want to become a husband and then I want to become a father, but I don't want to get married. Will you have children? You will not.
It's like some miracle or something that is asking.
I want to taste sweetness of sugar, but I don't want to eat the sugar. Will you ever be able to taste the sweetness if you don't taste the sugar?
Now, if it is everyone's essential nature, why should we seek for it and why is not revealing?
You tell me.
That's what I don't know.
No, you tell me. You have come here for a few years now. So you tell me why you should seek. If it is your essential nature, then why you should seek it? or why you should not seek it. If it is your essential nature, you are already that, then the question comes, I should not seek it. Then why am I seeking it? Then live it, be it. Are you being the self? Or are you being an individual?
No, the scripture says, I don't know, I'm individual.
I'm asking
Yeah.
that are you being the self at this moment?
That's not my experience.
Exactly. Therefore, you need to seek. But for that, you have to make a decision first. Are you in this life to come to know the truth? Or are you in this life to enjoy the world? If your goal is to enjoy the world, go and enjoy it. Don't feel guilty about it. When it has to happen, it will happen. But if you are, no, I don't want to waste this lifetime. I want to make, this is a doorway, this is an opportunity given to me. I want to, this is my last birth. I'm not going to come back again. This itch to be something more than what you are right now, this itch is in everybody, even in a beggar, which makes him come out and sat on the street and keep the bowl there. Man, this is in the DNA of every human being. Now, if this itch is there, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to direct this itch towards the world, which is never going to be able to give you conclusive answers, or are you going to take this itch and with this itch inquire into the self, and when you reach the self or be the self, then no answers are required? You go into the world thinking that it will give you joy and happiness. For some time it may give, but not permanently. But you come towards the self, it is of the nature of bliss. The seeking stops. So when you ask, think why you are asking that question. So there are 7.5 billion people on this planet. Are they essentially all of them the self? Yes, they are all the self. Is everyone in your dream other than your mind? Every character in your dream, is that character other than your mind? No. Do they know that? Does the character in the dream know that? Now, if you take that dream and expand it like a waking experience, then someone, I need to wake up, I need to wake up to myself. So if you remain in this dream, the dream is this illusory aspect. Living at the name and form level, the dream will continue. Being the Satchidananda, the dream breaks. The dream breaks. Which dream? Waking dream. Because you already realize that the dream, when you wake up, you give it zero value anyway. But we are not able to give zero value to this waking world, isn't it? And this, making this waking world impotent, ineffective on our mind, for that is all this study of the scriptures. Because we have given overdue importance to this waking world. Answered? What is not answered? May I ask? We are here for that only. Answer.
My question
Ask me
is,
question.
I'm not seeking anything. So even for a glimpse, the self-experience, will it reveal? That's my
it can reveal to anyone, anytime. That is its choice. No scripture can tell you it will or it will not. Nobody can put you in a box that you are gone case, man. It is not possible. That Angulimal, he had killed 107 people, and he wanted to make the mala of the finger of 108 people. And the last person, 108th one,
Is him.
no, Buddha, Lord Buddha. And he went from the behind. I'm going to get his finger. I got the last one. And he lifted his hand up, and the hand didn't come down. Did he know it was Buddha? Did he know that he was going to become a disciple of Buddha? He only knew one thing: kill. Valmiki, did he know that he was going to become a Valmiki Rishi? So grace can come in anyone's life unasked. But what are you going to do with that grace? Valmiki Maharaj took that grace of Narad Muni, chanted Rama 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 Ram, became a Valmiki Rishi. Angulimal took the discipleship of Buddha and became one of the greatest teachers at that time. Siddha Yoga. Ramana Maharishi, one experience of out-of-body experience, and left the home, went to the mountain, became realized. Here we have studied it for so many years. What have we done? We are stubborn. We are stubborn that all this knowledge is good. But I want my, comfort, and I want my food, and I want my things in the world. So the more grace is coming to you every moment, between every two breaths, the grace is there. Between every two thoughts, why only two thoughts? Whether thought or no thought, grace is always there. But are you being it? If you're asking for specific grace, how many people Baba gave grace to? How many people changed their life? How many people were, now Baba is not there, how many have lost the plot? See? So grace is there. For some people we see that suddenly everything changes. Because they run with it. They be with it. But we, some of us who consider ourselves to be too intelligent. See, this is also, it's like you get a drug and you become lightheaded. Reading scripture is also like a drug. It takes you into a different zone and you start enjoying it. But it will go only, it was so nice.
Intellectual appreciation.
Intellectual, But that is not the end game of this. It's not the end game. It has to become subjective. You have to be that. So yes, everyone is essentially the self. To everyone, the self is revealing every moment. But we don't have the eye to see it. We don't have the eye to see it. Scriptures give us that vision to recognize that what you are seeking is you are already that. But you just, because your attention is on the names and forms, therefore you are missing the missing the point. It's just one click. Now clear? If the attention is to be focused on this pure consciousness, what is the status of names and forms? The Anvaya Vichara, Anvaya means all inclusiveness. Neti Neti means I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. But Anvaya means I am everything. In the definition of I, the entire universe is included. The entire experience. The Anvaya Vichara, that in every name and form I alone is, needs to be accomplished by Vyatireka Vichara. That all the names and forms which appear to be different from each other and from the substratum are an illusion. Huh? That all the names and forms which appear to be different from each other. Take example, all the ornaments or pots or wares which appear to be separate from each other and from each other and from the substratum. The pot is separate to mud. We think that way. I am separate from the reality. That is why that question came. Because the premise itself is wrong. All these things are illusion. Meaning the separateness or individuality of every form, inert or sentient, is an illusion, and every name and form is separate from the substratum is also an illusion. This idea is wrong. This conclusion is wrong. In other words, every ornament is separate from each other is an illusion, and every ornament is separate from gold is also an illusion. See? For eyes it seems that the ornaments are separate or the pots are separate, because you are looking at, your attention is on the form. But if your attention was on the substratum, will you say the pots are separate? Because your attention is on the substratum, the mud. Mud is here also, mud is there also, story over. You will not see the difference. Eyes are seeing the difference, but your attention is on the unity. Your eyes see the difference of waves, but your attention is on water, which unifies them. Your mind knows that all the senses are different, but your attention is all of them are I, isn't it? You know, gross body, vital body, mental body, intellectual body, all are different. But what is your experience? I. Come back to the unifying factor. We get lost in the non-unifying factor. And what is the non-unifying factor? Name and form. Discard. The more you keep thinking of the non-unifying factor, you will never recognize that which you already are. If you keep thinking of yourself as husband and father and son and daughter and this and that, as you keep thinking about it, your responsibilities will increase and you will lose the plot. To get a semblance of all the roles that you are playing in your life, you need to come to the base, and that is the man. Otherwise, thoughts of child, thoughts of wife, thoughts of parents, thought of job, thought of bosses, thought of so many other things that you are involved in, it will make you go crazy. Isn't it? And some people do become crazy. निस्तत्वे नाम रूपे द्वे, निस्तत्वे नाम रूपे द्वे, जन्मनाशयुते च ते, जन्मनाशयुते च ते, बुद्ध्या ब्रह्मणि वीक्षस्व, बुद्ध्या ब्रह्मणि वीक्षस्व, समुद्रे बुद्बुदादिवत, समुद्रे बुद्बुदादिवत. Both the names and forms are essentially non-existing, being associated with birth and death. By proper understanding, know them to be projected in Brahman, just as bubbles in the ocean, budbudadivata. What are the qualities of these names and forms? Every name and form is born, stays for some time, then dies. It is created in time and dies in time. Example, gold is not created, but gold ornaments are created and destroyed. Similarly, you are not the body. Body is created in time and will die in time. The childhood body came, it died, allowed the teenage body to come. Then teenage body died, then youth body came. Then youth body died, then middle-aged body came. Now middle-aged body will die and the old age body will come. And eventually the body will die. But where is all this change taking place? Where is all this change taking place? It is taking place on the substratum, and that substratum I am. Without me, can the childhood, teenage, youth, middle age come and go? Cannot. But we get lost in our memory. Memories are not about the self. Memories are about childhood. Memories are about teenage. Memories are about our youth. Memories are about our middle age. The whole person can only talk about his past, and that past is only of the form, not of the self. Because the moment you come to self, there is nothing to talk about. Because self can be apprehended, you can be the self only in the now. You cannot be the self in the past, you cannot be the self in the future. The moment you come to the self, there is nothing to talk about. Maunam Vyakhyat Prakatita Parabrahma Yavanam. This is Dakshinamurti says. We should take that text sometime. Take you one step further from this. In a different angle. It's talking about the coming back to the base only. There is no essence in the names and forms, they are an illusion. Nobody has ever experienced that you have ever grown old. Yesterday only someone was telling me, I never feel that I have grown old. I said, then what has become old? Body has grown old. Why you are worried? You are not grown old. When you think about it, you know body has changed. When you think about it, you know your notions have changed. When you think about it, when you know that your convictions throughout the life has changed. But nobody says, with regards to convictions, you say, because you are attached to convictions, you say that I have changed. But what you really want to say is my convictions have changed, my body has changed, my emotions have changed. But nobody says I have changed. And when involuntarily or in just general discussion people say I have changed, they are not saying that the self has changed. They are not saying the soul has changed. They are saying their convictions, notions, ideas, experiences, body, etc. All these things have changed. See? So this is the simplest way that you can come to. Everything that is changing, don't give it attention. Don't be too serious about it. Come back to the base. Remain undisturbed. Be equanimous. Brahmani buddhva vikshasva. That which supports them is the reality. Having understood this, discover the truth, the Brahma Tattva, underlying the illusory names and forms again and again. It will not click straight away. For cycling, you have to fall few times, then you become expert at cycling. For swimming, you have to drink a bit of swimming pool water. Then you learn swimming, isn't it? When you learned how to eat food with the spoon, Many times the food went into the nose. Eventually, after a few tries, for some people, some children learn it the first time, some children learn it after 2 3 times, some children learn it after weeks. Everything in life is like that. At a empirical level, it is like that. Remember, you're tying your shoelaces. Did you learn it the same day? You understood how to do it, but the fingers were not moving. Isn't it? Same way here also. Again and again, come back. Practice, practice, practice. But I am already the self. Arey Baba, you know that you are already. Mind knows. You have to get rid of that mind also. You have to dissolve that mind also. There should be no one left to say that I know myself. Or I don't know myself. There should be no one left. That individuality must get dissolved. Having understood this, discover the truth, the Brahma Tattva underlying the illusory names and forms again and again. I, the Absolute One, invokes the consciousness and creates the subtle world of names and forms in the dream state and the gross world of names and forms in the waking state. When the consciousness is withdrawn, the experiencer, the experienced world, and the experience of all these three states disappear, where they are strung like gems in the string of consciousness on this I. Mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. This comes in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Just like the waves are strung on the are appearing on the ocean. Same way. Imagine all the roles that you are playing, they are strung in you. Are they other than you? No. Are they dependent on you? Yes. Are you dependent on them? No. Isn't it all the roles that you play? So you are, as a man, you are unchanging, relatively speaking. As a man, you are unchanging. All the roles that you play in the world are changing. They are dependent on the man. Man alone is appearing as those roles, supporting those roles, expressing through those roles, yet independent of those roles. Now take this example and apply it to the self, that you essentially are. Just like that. Without the self, on the self, the waking, dream and deep sleep come and go. It supports all these three worlds, expresses as these three worlds, but the self is independent of these three. Just like water is independent of all the waves and oceans. So all the forms and names are mere appearances. That which is appearing for some time is an illusion, because it is not the permanent factor. When the like the bubbles, ripples, waves and foam on the ocean, which are only an illusion, names and forms created and destroyed in time, the ocean was never created and will never be destroyed. Understand in this manner about the self. Self is not created, it can never be destroyed. Oh, but was I not born on this particular date in this life? Your body was born, man. Your body was born. Because you are identified with your body, you are saying that you were born. But in the body, the life must have come. It must have come from somewhere. So it must have been existing before in order to enter into it. You are that one, if you want to take it that way. Don't get lost in wrong conclusions. Hmm?
Then when we say that we like to have this one as the last birth, so what will happen to the self?
You tell me what will happen to the water?
But it doesn't create or doesn't die though.
Then it's his Leela. Then such a person becomes an instrument in the hands of the divine. If that divine wants a particular purpose to be fulfilled in the world, which is an illusion, yes, then he will send him back. But from within, from the essence point of view, that person is free, never to be caught up again. Never to be caught up again. So how is this abhyasa or practice done, and what will be the result? Satchidananda Rupesmin, Satchidananda Rupesmin, Purne Brahmani Vikshite, Purne Brahmani Vikshite, Swayamevavajanati, Swayamevavajanati, Namarupe Shanai Shanaihi, Namarupe Shanai Shanaihi. So now here the sadhana is given. What practice can help? Having realized Brahman to be infinite, existence, consciousness and bliss, the man of realization slowly and steadily disregards the name and form. The man of realization, right now you and all of you have come to know intellectually, right? So the more you remain with the self, as the self, will the world stop bombarding your senses and mind? You will still be there. But you give zero importance to the what is going on in the world or what is going on in your mind. That is what is told. But for that, for you to give zero value to the world and the mind, you need to be realized. So from that point they are taking. When by now from Swamiji is explaining from sadhana point of view, from our, then realized person, if you read Yoga Vashishta, there are 7 stages of realization. Just like once you are into the water in the swimming pool, and after drinking a lot of water, once you realize, hey, I can float, I can swim across. And then afterwards, the arrogance comes. I can know swimming. I know how to swim. And after a few years, because you did not become adept at it, you did not become master of it, you are thrown into the water. First there will be fear. Till you realize, oh, I can float. And I must increase my stamina now. Because I don't know how long I have to live in this water. So we are in the waters called the world. We come to the satsang, we understand the plot. We understood the plot. But the moment this plot you have understood, the world has not stopped pounding you from outside on your mind. You have not stopped getting involved in the world yet. So you need to practice, you need to increase your stamina. And that increasing of the stamina is the 7 stages of realization. So you have got no doubt as to who you are. But to abide in it undisturbed, unconcerned, it requires, there are 7 stages. So from that point of view, if we take, here he says that When by repeated abhyasa one goes on focusing attention on the substratum, the Ananda Swarupam, by ignoring the names and forms and focusing on the substratum, the gold, by losing one's individuality, by being commoner than the commonest, meaning do not have a special status in society, do not have a special status of yourself, in yourself, about yourself. Yeah, I'm a Tismar Khan, that I am a teacher, or I am a meditator, or I am a great devotee of a Lord, that Lord has given me this opportunity to do so much service to the society, and I am a force to be reckoned with, don't mess with me. People behave that way. Everyone who thinks this way is dispensable. But these thoughts come sometimes. What to do? You go the wrong way, you think about the world, these type of thoughts will come into your mind. You cannot stop them from coming. The only antidote for it is come back to the base, meaning come back to the substratum. And the more we come back to the substratum, the more you see your eyes, you want to see your eyes by your eyes, all the forms will disappear. The more you hear from your ears, what is the sound of my ears? You go, where do I hear it? The eardrum. What is the sound that is coming continuously? Even if there is a big bhampu outside, you will not hear it because you are introverted. What is that substratum on which all the thoughts are coming and going? The mind starts thinking. Then whether the thoughts come or go does not matter. You are not available to that fellow. When you are not available, you dissolve. When your attention is not on the thoughts, you start dissolving. And this is happening every night to you. When you go to sleep, you dissolve completely. We have to bring that same thing about consciously. Right now we are conscious, we want to go to sleep because it gives us bliss. And the individuality dissolves in deep sleep, isn't it, to a large extent? The whole world drops you of its own accord. On the seat of meditation, we come to the self and let the whole world drop, but we do not go to sleep. So here he says, automatically, by being commoner than the commonest, the result will be automatically the names and forms will be devalued gradually. They will be dropped in the framework of life's priorities. Ramana Maharishi had to meditate on who am I for 18 years. Then he became a great master. Don't think it is just, by studying one book. It may happen if the grace is there. We don't know how much sadhana you have done. But one must always begin that, I'm going to keep chipping away at it. Keep chipping away. This change of vision will happen in its own time, at its own pace. You cannot fast forward it. We want instant nowadays. Everything is the age of instant gratification. I want instant realization. So many courses are going on. Instant realization. Enlightenment. Guaranteed enlightenment comes in newspaper, magazine. In 14 days, in 10 days, in 3 days. Guaranteed. Can you imagine? The change of vision will happen in its own time, at its own pace. You have not forced to think the way you think right now. It has taken you a lifetime of 30, 40, 50 years to come to have this vision of life, isn't it? Did you have this vision of life when you were a child? No. At teenage? No. At youth? No. It's all percolating. All the information that you have collected from childhood it's percolating and percolating and percolating, and now sum total of that is what vision you have right now. When your mind is percolated by the contemplation of the substratum, the self, then mind will have got no other theme. Then from the glasses of the substratum, the mind is wearing the glasses of substratum, the only thought is substratum, I am. From that, when it becomes an empty mirror, it becomes a clear mirror. It has got its no agenda of its own, no corruption, no impurity. Then this self starts revealing itself. So the whole process of 18 years of Ramana Maharshi was cleaning that mirror of the mind. And how did he clean it? Through who am I inquiry. For many masters, to clean that mirror of the mind was doing the Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. So we are not creating realization. All we are doing is removing that is not allowing the self to reveal. We are just cleaning the mirror. Whole sadhana, study of scriptures, meditation, pranayam, all these various yogic exercises are only so that we become efficient at cleaning the mirror. Once the mirror is cleaned, not even one speck of dirt is there, then the self will reveal perfect reflection in the mirror. Then there is no doubt left. That is what is told here. The change of vision will happen in its own time, at its own pace. There is no need for haste. There is no time target on hand. A sense of urgency will express itself as intensity of Brahma Abhyasa in every experience that happens to us. Meaning, every experience becomes an opportunity for you to come back and fall into yourself or come back to base. But for that to happen, I was giving you the example of a japa jap sthiti. You come to the seat of meditation and so automatically the japa begins. Same thing happens here also. But we have to do the practice. Do the practice. And do it joyfully. Don't do it, oh, I don't know, I want it now. You're just going to delay it even more if you do that. How this indifference to the world, towards names and forms, takes us further in the spiritual sadhana, we will cover it in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for 2 minutes.